Did to make sure that this is the best, most jam-packed, thorough training in the universe, which I've always been good at. I'm good at selling, but I'm also good at fulfilling. I've got a lineup which we're going to go through, but I pulled together some of the top fellas in this area, some of the people that I have worked with, from Stu Silver, who owns 600, the fellow just walked in, owns 600 apartment units. Larry Simon, who owns one of the bigger real estate companies in town, Scrap Real Estate Company. Kevin Hogg, who is, all these guys multimillionaires, every single one of them. All got hit, all of us got hit during this real estate downturn. But guys, we've also been at this 30 years. You know, the difference between, you know, young buck getting started and 30 years is we have been through this, not this bad, but we've been through these economic cycles. You know, I will tell you that from 2002 to date was the first appreciating market I'd ever been in. If you're in upstate New York, when I started up there in 1980, 78, 79, that would make me almost 37. But when I got started up there, if you remember this, I don't know, you may or may not, but I was buying I first started where I got this financial independence that I told you about, was in Schenectady, New York, Schenectady and Albany, New York, okay? And the biggest employer up there is GE, General Electric. They have a plant with 26,000 people. Well, that's when Jack Welch, you know, came in and took over GE. He laid off 20,000 people. I had rental units in that town. He laid off 20,000 people, so there were 6,000 people left there at GE. And there was a massive layoff, if you remember. If you read his book, The GE Way, the GE Way Field Book would be the book to check there. You know, real estate went flat. It didn't go way down like in this last economic cycle, but it was certainly flat. But I was buying cash flow properties, and that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk a great deal about that here over this 3 days. I had cash flow properties. I bought rundown, you know, low, moderate income properties. Now, I'm not talking about where you go collect your rent with a gun, okay? I'm talking about middle America, low, moderate. And I was buying these properties in rundown, beat-up shape. I was looking for, and that's what we're going to talk a lot about here today, circumstance and opportunistic real estate. That's where we're going to start. Circumstance and opportunistic real estate is learning how to find a distressed seller, a motivated seller, and a distressed property. It's also learning about what niches there are in your area. What's the niche in your area? What works here may not work in Cincinnati. You know, that may not be the hot thing going on in Cincinnati right now. It may not be the hot thing in Utah or wherever you're from. But we have a broad base of great real estate experts here, folks. And I, maybe you know or don't know, but I've owned everything from rundown, beat-up properties to, in this town, I have office buildings. When you cross the bridge to come in, if you saw the Tigrant buildings, there's about 55,000 square foot of office space there that I own. I have hundreds of acres of land, industrial developments. Some of you may know that I had a 5,000-acre development in Costa Rica, brought in 100 miles of roads. I brought in all the infrastructure there. We built a conference center, condos, a hotel. I sold all that off, luckily, just before the crash, you know, so forget about the harder you work, the luckier you get. The luckier you get, you don't have to work so hard.